Hey, it's Chris, and I am at the Truth About Cancer Live. And earlier today, I met Johnny.
Yes.
And Johnny came up to me and told me his story, and it was awesome. And I convinced him to join me on the Cancer Survivor couch.
Yes.
And share his story with you, because I know you're going to be encouraged by this. You're going to love this story. I don't mean to put too much pressure on you, but you better make it great.
Okay.
You got to tell it as good as you told it to me,
Okay.
right?
All right. Cool.
Okay, so yeah, man, let's start.
Well, I went for a regular checkup back in 2010 for just a physical. I wanted to get back in shape. I was overweight, miserable life, really sad, depressed, the whole thing. But I figured I wanted to get in shape. Doing a regular routine check, the doctor went down my neck and he felt the lump. And he says, "You have something there. We want to go get it checked out." So I said, no biggie. Went, made an appointment with an endocrinologist, and they said they wanted to do a biopsy. And I never thought cancer would come out of his mouth when the biopsy came back. When I heard the word cancer, I freaked. I was afraid. I was scared. I knew no one in my family, immediate family, had cancer. No one. And I was just shocked. Like, how could cancer? No way. And whatever he recommended, I trusted him. I work for a hospital, so I trusted the guy in the white jacket and what he said he was able to do. And I just panicked and went along with the surgery. I just wanted the cancer out of me. And at the same time, under his care, I kept on complaining about abdominal pains. Kept on having abdominal pains. And he kept on telling me, you're okay. And I said, no, I don't feel okay. So when he gave me the radiation, the pill of radiation, the magic pill that's supposed to cure all, fix all, it burned. It burned my whole insides. It was just on fire. And in the state of Florida, you're quarantined for 3 days. So I was quarantined at home. I couldn't go nowhere, couldn't call for help, and I just burned. It just anybody with a tumor knows. It's just burning. And went back to him and kept on telling him, there's something wrong, there's something else wrong. He said, no, nothing's wrong. And finally, he wanted to give me more radiation, and I found out later that my tumor was encapsulated, that part. And I said, no, I don't want to go back to you. I don't want no more of this. He wanted another round of radiation, another pill. I said, no, I'm not going to do this. I got rid of him, and I decided to sit. And fast forward to about 2014, I started having, I would drink a cup of coffee or milk, and it would burn. And then I tried to go to sleep at night sometimes, and I would start sweating. And I didn't think nothing of it. I thought I was okay. Didn't think nothing of it. And I tried different things, like certain kind of foods. It would burn. And I said, there's something else wrong. Then I started having shortness of breath attacks at night. It would I couldn't breathe. And I would sweat, and I would be rushed to the emergency room. And like I said, I work at the hospital, and I would just sit there, and then they would go away. And so finally, after about the third attack, I said, I got to go to the doctor. Found a new doctor, went in. He wanted to do a whole round, the whole testing again. And I was just like, I don't want to go through a bunch of tests, because your arm, you go through cancer, and you just keep on blood, and nothing changes. And I went to him, finally told him, I said, listen, just give me a PET scan, doctor. I don't want to go through no more tests. I kind of make sure it's what it is. And he laughed. I said, I think it's lymphoma. And he just laughed at me. And so I went, and sure enough, from the initial CT scan till then, in the original CT scans, it showed only a couple of lymph nodes. By the time 2014 rolled around, the next PET scan, it was all through my GI tract. It was real bad. And he referred me to an oncologist. I went to an oncologist, and he wanted to start doing tests. And I just told him, I said, how bad am I? He says, right now you're possible stage 4. He looked at the thyroid and everything else that was going on. And he says, from what your PET scan's showing you, you're really messed up. And I didn't know, working in a hospital, I didn't know that I can read my own medical records. I can go pick up my own medical records. That was the game changer. When I was talking to a friend, she said, you can pick up your own medical records. I said, I didn't know that. I went, picked it up, but now they gave me a stack of all my medical records, but I didn't know how to read them. I didn't know, And this is like 2014, 2015, and I had a friend who was a nurse. And she says, come on, let's go out to lunch and I'm going to show you how to read your medical records. And she went down and when she read the results and we compared to CT scans, she was just like, the original CT scan shows that you have swollen lymph nodes. He knew that, there was something else going on. Even the radiologist's comments said for further investigation, we want to test there's something going on there. And
back in 2010?
Yeah. Had no clue. Had, then you feel taken advantage of. And so my oncologist and my primary care physician were trying to, no, you got to take chemo. We have chemo drugs that you never heard of, right? And under their slogan, it's they test they're a test site where they test new brands of chemotherapy to give to you. I didn't want to be a part of that. I mean, if the first time it didn't work around, he didn't catch it, why am I going to trust you? So I didn't, and from there, I just prayed. I was afraid. I was scared, miserable. I was afraid to go to sleep because I didn't want another sleep, shortness of breath attack, like I'm suffocating.
Mm.
And when I went with my nurse and we read the PET scan, I had fatty liver, kidney stones. I had a bunch of other stuff. I was messed up. I was jacked up. So I went online. I have an IT background. I went online and I said, God, I need help. I didn't want to die. And everything about my life was toxic at that time. In the home, relationship, everything. Wasn't happy. It was sad. And I came across, I went and natural cancer remedies. And it's funny because I would always criticize, being that I worked in the healthcare system, somebody that said that reverse cancer naturally, it's like, no way you can do that, having a cup of coffee and ice cream, Haagen-Dazs ice cream at that time. Now it's me. Now my number's being called. What are you going to do? And being in a facility, a healthcare facility, you see it firsthand. I mean, I know the smell of somebody dying of cancer when they're wearing diapers, when they can't breathe, when they're skinny, frail, they can't eat, they vomit. Cachexia, I think it's called, when they can't absorb the food. You see this. And I was saying, that's not going to be me. And what I did was, I came across the Gerson therapy. Didn't know anything about it, didn't own a juicer, didn't know about diet, I had no clue. And my first attempt at a coffee enema.
Comical, I bet.
Yes.
Like everyone's.
Yes, but the pain went away. Like after I did it, the pain was just like reduced. But then what did I do? I went out and I started eating junk food again, and then the pain came back, and I was just like, wait a minute, there's something more to this. Then I came, somebody said, check out, did you hear about crispy cancer? I said, no, I never heard about that. And I went to your site, and what you're talking about just made sense. It was just like, oh my God, I was just like, oh my God. And I went, and just at that time.
What was it? I mean, what did do you remember something I said that really resonated with you?
Overdose on nutrition. I mean, that resonated with me. I was just like, oh my God, I was overdosing on all these junk food, sleep apnea, can't sleep at night, caffeine, the sugars, and you're addicted to it. Let's try the other thing. So then when I started, I just started juicing, didn't know any recipes, just the Gerson carrot juice and Granny Smith apple. I didn't even know if I was doing that right. Then the green juices, and I just started sucking them down, sucking it down. Then
This is what we call, by the way, inspired imperfect action, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
Right? You're inspired, you're taking action. It doesn't have to be perfect, don't have to know anything. You're just going for it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And I was juicing so much that I would have to take bathroom breaks. It was just going. And then one time I went to the bathroom, and all this black mucus, whatever it was, it just came out.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my, it looked like the shape of my intestines. I was just, oh my God, look at this. But I would sweat. I would start sweating. Mm-hmm. And I knew my deodorant didn't work. I didn't know about the fluoride and anything. My tongue would get blistery. And it was toxins just coming out. Everything was just coming out. It would burn. I would drink like carrot, and it would start burning again. But I didn't realize that that's your body. That's the fight going on. Mm-hmm. And I could touch where the tumors were, and it would warm. And I knew something was going on.
Yeah.
I said, oh, this is working. So 8 months later.
Inflammation is often a healing response in the body.
Yes.
So in the short term, sometimes, when you when you radically change your diet and you start overdosing on nutrition, like he's talking about, yeah, sometimes you can have increased pain and swelling and things, you'll know right away something is happening, right? And it's not your cancer exploding.
Right. And then I went and made an appointment to get my amalgams out of my mouth. Did that.
How many did you have?
4.
Okay.
4.
Yeah.
And
so y'all know amalgams, silver amalgams have mercury. It's 50% mercury. The most toxic non-radioactive metal on Earth, right, is in your mouth if you have a silver filling. He had 4 of them.
Headaches went away. And I started rebounding. I watched a video on rebounding. I went and got a rebounder, didn't know what I was doing. And I lived in an apartment. Note to self is don't rebound in front of a window if you're not used to it, because you can bounce off it.
Out the window?
Yeah.
Did you almost fall out of your...
Yeah, I bounced off it. I said, oh man, let me move this to the center. Move it to the center of the room.
Yeah.
And so I started rebounding in the morning, started getting my lymphatic system going, sweating, put a Berkey filter, picked up the Berkey from you, and also the water filter, got that going. Started looking for different toothpaste. Just started cleaning out everything. Started
cleaning
brags.
house.
Yeah, started getting the brags. Got all the stuff, junk food, everything, anything that was going to feed the cancer. I had to stop. And I said, I'm in control of this. And I did it. And they kept on. My oncologist kept on calling for appointments. And I said, I'm not going back to him just yet. And I waited about 8 months later. Went back and I said, we're going to do the PET scan. And like I said, I didn't really know anything. Just nervous. I mean, it's any time for me before the PET scan, man. And I went, I did it, came back, and I was afraid to go pick up my medical records because I think that's a game changer. When a cancer patient, when you take your own medical records and you read them yourself, don't wait for the guy in the white jacket to read them. He's only going to spend 15 minutes or 7 minutes with you. And just, there's a whole lobby of other people that have issues.
Yeah.
And this, for me, it's fearfully and wonderfully made. I mean, there's only one of a kind. I mean, this has its own pharmacy, its own ecosystem. Spirit, soul, and body. What I've learned on this journey, just by watching his videos and the truth about cancer and just learning. And I called Dr. Lodi in Arizona.
Yeah, Thomas Lodi.
Yeah, and they named the price. I couldn't afford it. I didn't have the money. Didn't have nowhere to go. But this is how God works for me. And he says, oh, by the way, before they hung up, she says, well, listen, let me look on the computer and see if there's somebody in Fort Myers that can help you out. And sure enough, there was a doctor that did high-dose vitamin C in Fort Myers, 3 miles away. I can afford it. And he took me under his wing. He started giving me high-dose vitamin C. I started just taking it.
How many times a week did you go?
Once a week.
Okay.
And they put...
They do 60 grams or 80?
60 grams with the B complex. I started taking Laetrile, the pills, Laetrile. Plant-based diet, little bit of meat, because I was like real skinny. Real skinny. And 8 months later, went back for the PET scan, and my doctors were shocked. They were just sat there. Because I thought it was bad news. I didn't even read it. You should read it to take control, because you're in charge of this.
It's really good advice. Yes.
You're in charge of this, and don't be afraid of it. This is what's going on in your system when you read those reports. And the doctor just sat there for a couple of minutes, went back to his computer, came back, sat down, and he goes, I'm going to read you your report. Have you read it? And I said, no. He goes, your fatty liver's gone. The kidney stones are gone. You have scarring on your lungs, so whatever's there is gone. Your lymph nodes that was around the indolum, which is on the lower part of the intestine, near the at the end, that's gone. And the tumors are shrinking. He said, what did you do? What are you doing? And I said, I'm just doing nutrition. He said, you did all this with nutrition? I said, yeah, just with nutrition. He goes, nah, are you doing anything? I said, no, just nutrition. And we went back and forth, and he said, well, tell me how you did it again. And I told him I'm drinking about 64 ounces of juice. I mean, just draining green juice, carrot juice, beet juice, wheatgrass, Laetrile. What else did I take? High-dose vitamin C. I started just cleaning my life up. Meditation I got into, because we're wired to meditate. The scripture clearly tells you to meditate, but you have a choice. You can meditate on the problem and magnify it, or the promises of God and magnify that. I chose to magnify the promises of God because I realized I had to cleanse my whole life. I went the conventional route, and you can see the scar there, and it's a reminder that they just dealt with the symptom. They just took me, cut it out, boom, you're gone. Next. Here, going natural, I'm healing spirit, soul, and body. The journey is just like so many people that I've met along the journey. You know, you're going from point A to point B. So many beautiful people coming into my life and just helping me out and educating me. And I've learned that this is so precious. Life is such a gift. And for me, it's giving away now. It's giving back of how many people I can help along this journey, the way you've helped me. And now, you know, on my YouTube channel, I just started, because people come and say, you need to start a YouTube channel. I was like, And then I started one, and just amazed at how many people are out there that are going through it.
What's the channel?
Johnny Ramos TV.
Johnny Ramos TV. We'll put a link below.
Yeah, and it's just, now, you know, I work at a healthcare facility. Even that's changing.
Talk about what's happening inside the hospital.
Well, I get, I don't know how people are getting my number. Cancer patients from in the hospital call me, and they ask for my help. And being that they're patients, I can't help them because they're patient. But once they check out of the hospital, we hook up, and wherever it is, or even in the hospital, all I tell them to do is look at Pre-Speak Cancer or The Truth About Cancer while you're in there and educate yourself. But when they're discharged, we communicate. And I take them to the health food store, hold them by the hand. They're so afraid. And you can see them weeping because no one's ever told them that this is out there, that there are other ways to heal the body. And just amazing things that, you know, even as a whole, as a hospital, now they have a plant-based program. They have, you can't get sodas in some of the facilities no more, no smoking.
That's a big change. That's good.
Organic, a lot of organic meals, plant-based entree for lunch, and then they have the rest of the stuff. And you have a choice. You know, you can, like I said, you can either feed it or you can starve it, the cancer. But, you know, it isn't, you know, just chemo and radiation the whole time, which contributes to secondary cancers when you look at the studies. And for me, it's just been a journey. I mean, I'm like so blessed to be alive and do this. I can do it. I can ride my bike now 20 miles a day. I can walk. I can stuff I couldn't do, and you learn to appreciate that. You know, you don't waste time arguing. I don't argue. It's like whatever, and you just move on, because you realize that life, my body's still healing. It'll continue to heal, because it's just not the diet, just more spiritual side of it, of how, you know, how we're created. And if I believe, and I always say this, that if God is love and I'm created in the image and the likeness of God, then I'm wired to love. If He is light and I'm created in His image, then I am light too. All my cells need light. And where do you get that from? From the juicing, from eating a healthy diet that's going to feed this electrical being. Because
and the sun.
Yeah, self-generating, you know. And how they bring you back if you have a heart attack. They electrocute, you know, they shock you to bring you back. And you know how your body, whatever you give your body, it's going to be a reaction. And I'm still on the high dose vitamin C as we speak. And I take ACL, which increases the immune system's response. And it's kind of funny because now I know when I have a little fever, I know my immune system, so I know it's working. And I'm just blessed, man. I'm so happy just to, like I said, just to breathe, be alive, man.
That's right. The zest for life, right?
Yeah.
That's what cancer does. You know, it really quickly separates the important from the unimportant, and you realize how many things in life are not important.
Yeah.
And it teaches you. I mean, it just gives you this overwhelming amount of gratitude just for life and health and breath and the fact that you can ride your bike and, you know, like get out of bed.
Walk on the beach early in the morning. Is this the protocol? You know, you watch, for me, God Paint the Sky. I call it, you know, because it's new every day. And it's, you want to, like, I was dead before. I was dead spiritually. I was dead physically, emotionally, just drained, stressed out. Now my life, when I wake up, it's like, I can't wait. Like coming here, I couldn't wait to get here. I mean, it's just like so many people that are just like me that are going through. And then to see him, it was just like, there he is. I was like, my one goal, all I knew he was tall. And I don't care. And I was going to cut through the crowd, but I was going to see him. And I seen him, and I was just like, wow, there he is. Because it's blessed my life. My life has changed forever. And what he does on his channel, it's like an extension, because what he put into me, now I give it to somebody else, and you give it freely, and just moving on. And, helping somebody for me was a big blessing. I bought him a Vitamix. I said, no, you don't have to pay me for it. They didn't have the funds. And I said, when you get better, I don't care if it's a cucumber or whatever you can do. If you can give a cancer patient a gift card from Whole Foods or organic store, give it to them, because what they really need is money, to fight cancer. And it's sad, and my working in a healthcare facility, I have to come out of pocket for high-dose vitamin C for my treatments. My insurance doesn't cover it. And I can imagine, I know my way around the system. I know how to read a report now. I know, where to go and where to get the information from. But for somebody who's just starting out, his channel is a blessing. I mean, it's just, his website is just like, you can sit up there all day. Before I used to eat Haagen-Dazs ice cream in bed, right? And just now, it's like probably like a little bit of fruit or something totally different, where I can have like a Granny Smith apple or something healthy. Yeah. A Ciabola, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. And I would sit there and just, now it's health things. So I can sit on his channel and just listen to it, and watch it over and over as you feed yourself. You start to live, and you realize that cancer doesn't have to be at that sentence. It doesn't.
And you watch the Square One program too,
yes,
right?
Yes. And actually, there's other people that watch it that are going through cancer, and not only that, they're the response, because I know for me, it's when I hear about somebody getting diagnosed with cancer, I refer to them, just go to Crispy Cancer and educate yourself first. Don't make a decision, wait. Don't be like me, because every day I wake up, I look at this scar on my neck from not having a thyroid, and it's my endocrine system for the rest of my life, because a decision I made out of fear, not educating myself. And the first thing you want to do is get the fear out of you, educate yourself. Not only that, is knowledge. Knowledge is one thing, but executing on the knowledge that you have is totally different. Because for me, healing from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma now is much harder, because I'm depending on a synthetic trigger hormone, Synthroid, which when you start drinking the green juices, it doesn't absorb right. So constantly they have to monitor me. I go up, I go down, I go up, I go down. And finally, we're in the groove now, where I suck down juice like my body's craving it right now. Before I used to crave sodas. Yeah. Now it's craving like I need my green drink today.
Yeah, man. No, me too.
But it's a blessing. Thank you.
Johnny, man, I'm so excited for you. I'm so glad to meet you. I'm so glad that we got to sit down and share your story.
Thank you.
And listen, we'll put a link to his channel, Johnny Ramos TV, on YouTube, and put some other links and stuff in the resources under this video on Crispy Cancer. If you're watching on YouTube, you just click the link to the post. But man, thank you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited. Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure. Okay, everybody, please share this. Come on. That's amazing stuff. People are healing cancer. The body can heal. Yes. You got to change your whole life. You got to take control of your situation. But you can do this. Okay, so again, if you're watching this, I hope it encouraged you. Please share it. Help us reach more people. See you soon.